السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري ويشرك في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. Amen. Everyone welcome here. We have some friends here as well, and some friends on YouTube. So, inshallah, we would like to hear Anne's reminding remarks about what we have done last week and what we are going to do this week, inshallah. Anne, please.
Inshallah. All right. Well, last week was a remarkable parable. Well, all of Mercy's parables are remarkable, but this one seemed particularly so because it had so many levels of meaning. And I really can't do justice to the way it's written, but I'll just do a very brief summary in which this parable is explaining the truth of our reality. And it's a traveler, and he's on a long journey and was given 60 pieces of gold from his Lord. He stops at a hostel, which represents life, where he spent all his gold on gambling, amusements, and the enjoyment of fame. In the morning, he had no money left. So the question this is bringing up is, how can we recover ourselves and go in the right direction? Because clearly this traveler is like ourselves, or potentially like ourselves. So the parable continues where a man stopped this traveler in the starry state, and the man represents perhaps a prophet or my own consciousness. Mm-hmm. He told this man, "You are going to your destination bankrupt. However, the door of repentance is open if you reserve time to reflect on why you are here." And the traveler, and the man said that you need to reserve at least 1/2 of your time to reflect on why you are here. And the traveler essentially didn't agree to this. And the man said, okay, well then 1/3. And the traveler still did not agree to set aside 1/3 of his time for reflection. And finally, the man said, okay, 1/4. But this traveler's soul could not give up the habits to which it was addicted. So the man angrily turned his back on him and left. And suddenly the scene changed. He was on a train, traveling very fast, as though downward vertically. He was frightened, but there was no escape. He looked at beautiful flowers outside the train to try and pick, but his hands were lacerated. So a porter offered to help, and said, if you give me 5 cents, I will help you pick the flowers that are tearing the traveler's hands. which represent, as I understood, the illicit pleasures. But the porter said, you cannot pick them without permission. Then I know this is a rather long parable. That's why it's worth going back and rereading actually. But this traveler had a third reminder in the form of the man from the hostel again, who said, repent and place your trust in God. The traveler awoke and saw he was a new person, in this case, Saeed. The old Saeed was gone. This parable actually has multiple meanings. One of them is that the pleasures and enjoyment we get through licit striving and gain is sufficient. And there's probably other meanings as well that we can talk about, such as that the language of the Quran many times will talk about leaving deniers alone, but keep treating them with all they need until the day of resurrection, when we will be asked what we did with the gifts that we were given. So I'll stop here with this and wait and see if there's anything else, whether Ali wants to add or anything else anyone else here today wants to add. Thank you.
You are most welcome, and thank you very much for your beautiful summary of the analogy. So I think we understand that this person, the traveler, represents us, each of us.
Yes.
And we just spend most of our time for just to take care of or satisfy our worldly transient life. And then our consciousness, or we hear the news from other people talking about the next creation. This is just a transient place when human capacity cannot really squeeze into this transient life. We want infinite life, permanent satisfaction. Everything must be perfect. So these qualities are given to us to yearn for the eternal life. So our consciousness continuously really prompts us to think, why are you here? What are you going to do in this world? How come you came to this world, to appear to be in this world? All these questions must be asked unless we express our reality. Otherwise, they are there. Who am I here? As a human being, but not the body only. So we have all these human qualities to be taken care of. So the reminders, there may be, as Anne said, the reminder, maybe our consciousness, our human reality, maybe the news we hear from the prophets. They claim that God employed them and gave the news that there will be a hereafter, eternal life, or an event happened. An event happened, let's say one of our beloved one passed away. That is a reminder. So, oh, let's say this beloved one is our mother or my mother. Oh, she was so kind, so compassionate to me, but she died. But I need this compassion still. No, what's going on in this world? I start thinking about the reality of our existence here in this world. That is also somebody who's, but the text is a stern person. It's very interesting. A stern, determined, serious person. Why? Death is a serious matter. And the prophetic messages are serious matters. They claim a lot of things. Not only how am I going to take care of my bodily needs, they claim that everything is so meaningful. They are really announcing a message about the source of their existence. And if you like, you can see the angels. What? So strange. Angels, yeah. Look at this creation itself. They are smiling at you. They are inviting you. Think about me. Reflect on my existence. So there are lots of reminders that we receive from our reality. So these are the reminders. So these reminders may not be enough for us. At least a quarter of your life must be spared to reflect on your future, your reality, and what's going on in this world. At least a quarter. And if I don't listen to the remindings of my reality, or I hear the news from other sources, like the prophetic messages or serious events, stern serious events happen. If something happens nice, we don't take notes of it. That's interesting. Oh, it's good, I'm lucky. But if something really is hurting, severe, then we take notes of it. For example, every day we wake up and everything is fine. The sun is there, daylight is there, the atmosphere is there, and your breakfast is there, ready in the kitchen. So you can go and get it, everything is fine. We don't think. We don't take notes of it. But suddenly somebody feels a pain somewhere, and he becomes suspicious and goes to the doctor. Doctor say, okay, let's take an MRI or something. And then say, sorry, sir, you got cancer. You can imagine the image. Think about its reality. When I hear that I've got cancer, I start sweating. Why? I take notes of only the negative creation. That is why Quran is full of negative reminders. Why? Because we don't take notes of the positive reminders. Isn't that true, though? It's our reality. So on the way, so we said, okay, I'm going to live on my own. And whatever I like, I want to get it. Whatever I like, I want to get it, according to my, if you like, egotistic expectations. Egotistic means, I like it, I will have it. But somebody says it is not. It means, again, reminders, especially in this case, the prophets. Because it is not licit to take it. It is illicit to take them. You have to get permission. No. Yes, you cannot, here's the text is, you may not see that, but in the screen, I'm sharing it. You cannot pick them without permission. That's very interesting. How can I get the things for my benefit with permission. From whom I'm going to get the permission? From where? For example, you like, let's say, something, and you want to have it, you want to, food is this simple example. You are hungry. Ah, okay. All right, maybe after the class, I was preparing something. You know the standard. So to offer you, but after the class, inshallah. All right. Uh, Now we are going to have some almonds. So, almonds. Can I get it? When the man says, this most probably the reminder of the prophets, prophetic message. Those people, Jesus, Moses, Muhammad, whoever they are, doesn't matter. God's employed teachers. So human being says, it is illicit. You cannot get the almond, but you can get it. But it's illicit, but I can show you a licit way of it. How? If you get permission, then it is licit. It becomes licit. Permission from whom? Any suggestion? Who's going to give the permission? Here is the almond. You can eat it, but it is illicit. These prophets are strange people. Tell me something which is not very the way that my life is accustomed with. They are strange. How can you get the permission? From where am I going to get the permission? Ask the state or administration or what? From the tree. Here it is. It is in my garden. He says, no, you cannot get it. What an answer. And it's somebody said,
the existential owner.
yeah, yeah. So you have to acknowledge the source of existence of the almond, to whom it belongs. It is his work. Now one might say, nature, the owner. What is nature? Get the permission from the nature. Acknowledge it. Well, what do you get when you get the permission from the nature? What do you gain from it? From this understanding. Nature is itself. Almond, the nature of almond is almond. But the prophets say, no, no, the creator of the universe has created this almond within the context of the whole system of the universe. You cannot really get the almond, one almond. You cannot get it unless you acknowledge the owner of the universe with his and ask his permission means acknowledgement. You understand this? Acknowledgement is important. For example, if someone sees something in my garden, now it's a human analogy, of course, limited. And if someone says, I'm Ali, are you using this one? It's human relationship. I said, not really. It's there just in case. Can I get it? Asks permission as an owner. I said, okay, get it. If I have billions of the same thing, example, human example, we shouldn't forget. Well, he asks for one. I said, get it, man. It's nothing. But the owner, the creator, the owner of the universe is the owner of the universe. Must be an absolute being. So for an absolute being, asking for permission, is it a problem? Permission to get one almond or a handful of almond? No. Only acknowledgement by asking the permission is the essence of everything. That is an interesting expression that the simple analogy in the text, if you read the text, it looks like an, how do you say, kindergarten story. So simple. But it represents a very serious existential problem that we have to be aware of it. So in this world, we have to take care of our life accordingly and on what principles I'm living in this world, for what purpose I am living, with what consciousness I am living in this world. I have to be careful about my reality. And did I make any justice to your comment? To your interest?
I left out the part about permission, so that was really good that you added that.
Yeah. No, thank you, thank you. Okay, we have lots of interesting matters, subjects are coming. So let's read this classical text, which looks and sounds very strange. But inshallah, we will get the message. It's interesting messages embedded in it, in this. The writing of this classical authors are not straight away that we are accustomed now. So we have to interpret it. We have to understand it because they use lots of analogies, parables, and figures of speech, so rhetorics. So we have to understand what they really mean. This is a classical Eastern education. They don't say straight away. Please, if there is no comment from here, from anyone, and anyone on YouTube, Zoom, okay, we can continue if you don't have anything else to say, inshallah.
Okay, so we're going to start the fourth remark. Man resembles a delicate and petted child in the universe. There is a great strength in his weakness and great power in his impotence. For it is through the strength of his weakness and power of his impotence that beings have been subjected to him. If man understands his weakness and offers supplications verbally and by state and conduct, and recognizes his impotence and seeks help, since he has offered thanks by exhibiting them, he achieves his aims and desires are subjugated to him in a way far exceeding what he could achieve with his own power. Only he sometimes wrongly attributes to his own power the attainment of a wish that has been obtained for him through the supplications offered by the tongue of his disposition. For example, the strength in the weakness of a chick causes the mother hen to attack a lion. And its newly born lion cub subjugates to itself a savage and hungry lioness, leaving the mother hungry and the cub full. See this strength in weakness and manifestation of divine mercy, which are worthy of notice.
Lots of points to be discussed. When we get used to the language and the style of teaching, it becomes easy, but there are interesting points. Would you like to make any comment by anyone and anyone in Zoom? And anything attracts you at first reading? This is just a first reading. Now, anything, Anne, would you like to add?
Oops, sorry. You've made into boldface the the part of the sentence where man has great power in his impotence. We've talked about this a lot in these classes about acknowledging our impotence and seeking help through our supplications, both verbally and by our actions. But I think it's important that we keep being reminded about that, because in this secular society, almost it's pretty widespread that when we obtain something, attain our goals, it's because of our own effort, our own power, and our own ego. So because we're always surrounded by this, at least I feel I'm always surrounded by this, it's important to be constantly reminded that in fact it's the opposite, that we are in fact impotent and need God's mercy. That's what I want to say.
No, thank you. Thank you. It goes just against the law of the civilization. This civilization says you have to feel great and self-confidence. Self-confidence is the source of strength. But this text says opposite. Great power in his impotence, weakness. Would you agree? Not towards the other people. No, in your, as you said again, existential reality. I am needy. Needy of what? Not only food or money, or I would say we are not need of, we are need of everything. Need to exist, need to have life, need to have a healthy life, and need to have anything I want. Not only in what is possible here. For example, I need to not age, but I do. I need not to be ill, but I do. I need not to die. I need not to lose my this beautiful atmosphere in creation. I need everything. I cannot. Can we guarantee anything? No. No. I think we have to have a not only change. Change is not enough. We have to have a paradigm shift in our life. Completely change our direction of understanding of what the reality of this world is. So wonderful. Arranged everything perfectly, fixing perfectly, and continuously renewing. That is amazing. I keep talking about it. We miss the continuous renovation going on in the creation. Nothing static at all. Nothing static. Who's changing them? Who is moving them? They say energy. Where did you get it? Atom explode. Yeah, that's correct. In a certain, you know the name of the theory. In a certain moment, something explode. Where did you get it? How? And can you imagine in one event, one thing, this universe came out by itself, evolved, developed itself. It's still expanding. It's not enough. I think I remember I was thinking about it this morning. I said, this is this famous theory. I mean, everybody knows Big Bang. I said this represents God's introducing himself, that he creates everything with one will, which is represented kun fayakun, and be and it is. Sure. Or that is exactly the nature of the universe to be given existence. Represents someone who has infinite capacity, must will this universe to exist. I said, I think this theory, although reduces everything to matter itself, but it really makes sense if you refer it as the paradigm shift of your worldview, refer it to the source of existence. It represents the famous, I don't know, you know, kun fayakun, you know, kun, the whole universe. So absolute is willing the things to exist, absolute, not limited. But matter is limited. Matter itself is subject to the order. Can you imagine anything of this universe, any part of this universe is acting independently from the rest of the universe? My typical classical example, computer. Can you act? Can you imagine that one of the pieces of this computer acting independently from the rest of the pieces of the computer? How? How then? It is, they are independent, infinitely dependent on each other. Infinitely, not only dependent, interdependent. If one piece doesn't work, the other piece never works. All the pieces are useless. There must be all of them at the same time perfect, the working. So this computer must be designed by one project. That's it. And everything must be perfectly working. And then production starts. Producing, everything is perfectly working, plan is there. And then production starts and the machine starts working. If one of them needs to be developed in the course of time, adjust itself, it is to its environment, the computer doesn't work. And this one cannot do it, cannot work by itself either. Which kind of mentality these people have, logic they have? I don't understand. They are just cheating, I think, or telling an obvious lie. This is what we have, we should understand that. A simple example, everybody knows, if baby sleeps, mother is doing nothing. When the baby wakes up and starts making noise, oh, the baby's up. And then, if the food is not ready, screams. Look at the strength of the baby. Where does it get her or his strength? And mother jumps up. No, she's hungry, or the baby is hungry. And who is employing the mother? Baby. Commanding them. How? Speaking. With baby language. That's enough. And mother panics. Look at this arrangement. Not only human, animals. Animals do the same thing. Now, if you try to harm, what happened once, the mice, the cat, no. I was looking in a pipe. I wanted to move the pipe. I realized that there is a cut in the pipe. It's a large, like this pipe, large. In the pipe, and it's really ready to attack on me. What? And then I realized that babies are there, ready to attack me. Why? It is employed by the weakness of her babies. This civilization, this materialist civilization, secular civilization, godless civilization, works other way around. They trust on their strength, military power, financial power, political power. But the Quran says the reverse. You have to be modest, acknowledge your reality before your creator, that you are needy of everything. If you don't acknowledge it, you have to work hard to make. You cannot guarantee your life. You cannot guarantee to satisfy your human expectations. Impossible. At least you die. True. You cannot preserve anything. But there is another very interesting point that the text is making. I think everybody noticed on the screen. I bolded out. Only he, the human beings, sometimes wrongly attribute to their own power. It's a very interesting sentence, extremely important to me. Sometimes human beings wrongly attribute to their own power the attainment of a wish that has been obtained for him through the supplications offered by the tongue of his disposition. It means his existential reality. Now, what does it say? I think you understand better than I do by English. Sometimes we get, don't we? For example, I need almonds. What I do, I plant and grow almonds. I think I'm growing almonds, although I am not aware of what's going on. But it grows, but I think that I'm growing almonds. Yeah? I am the farmer. So I am growing almonds. They say, the farmers say, we produce something. You produce nothing. But what you do, through your existential reality, you go and present your neediness by obeying the way the things are created and waiting for the result to be created for you. You cannot create anything. How about the scientists? Nowadays, the problem is there. Yeah? What do? They go to the labs. They obey the order of the universe, the way it is created, and present their need. I want to make a telephone, improve the quality of the telephone. Do they improve the quality of the telephone or do upgrade the model of the telephone by just dreaming something? What do? Use, think how the order works, discover how the order works. So obeying the order, that is essential. By obeying the order, what is the order of the universe? The will of its creator, whoever created it. If you say matter, okay, give the quality of willing, choosing to the matter. Unconscious matter is choosing the best way. It happens. Wait, you will see whether it will work or not. After you die, you will really realize whether it has a consciousness, the matter has consciousness or free will to choose. You will see. But the reality is obvious there. So what do? They obey the will of the creator, get the permission. If they humanly acknowledge the creator, they get the permission from its real owner. If they don't acknowledge it, they think that they are getting the permission from nature. Depending on your attitude, which one makes sense to you? From nature, asking the permission from matter, or owner of the matter, source of the existence of the matter. Which one? Think about your this matter by using your human reality and decide. It's free. That's free here. Whether you take lesson, like in the education in the college provides everything, or the university. You are a student there. Everybody is a student in the college or the university of the universe here. I like this school analogy. It's very real. We forget that we are students here. So if you go and attend the class and learn, it's up to you. If you don't go, that's up to you. But at the end, you will get the degree accordingly. But this is for a purpose. Education is for a purpose. We are learning. So we ask through our existential reality that we need this. Go and invest, either do farming or do some job, or go to the lab and investigate how the universe is willed to function. And then the creator says, okay, you are free. If you come to the class and learn, that's up to you. But the class is going on. The process is going on. If you don't come, that's up to you. You will learn nothing. Now, exactly in the same way, we go and study and learn the way the universe is created, means the teaching is continuing. That is why there is no repetition. There is no static moment in the existence of the universe. Teaching is ongoing process, an ongoing process. The teaching never stops. It's interesting. So we have to take care of ourselves, whether we take notice of it or not. When we follow the class, learn something, but don't acknowledge the authority of the university. Still you learn it. Interesting point, huh? Still you learn it. But you say, accidentally I learned it. I happen to be in a place where something was taught, and I learned it. I am lucky. Don't acknowledge somebody may not acknowledge the arrangement of the universe in the form of a class. Just hearing some voice, don't acknowledge the professor teaching you. I learned it, accidental. So it happened to be. But still, if you pay attention to it, you learn it. This is the point. If you pay attention, you learn it. if you obey the rule of learning, you get it. It means if you obey the way the things are created, order, it means, okay, you learn it. But whether you acknowledge that there is a special education going on here, administration system is there, and there is a purpose in the establishment of this university education or not, that is your choice. But even if you believe that, that is interesting flip side of the matter. Even if you believe that the university is arranged by some people or someone, human example, and everything is perfectly working here, I acknowledge the authority of the administration, but not attending the class. Do you get anything? Your belief, your acceptance of the authority of the administration doesn't help you if you don't attend the class. I believe in God. All right. Are you attending the class? No. Sorry. You get nothing. Two sides are equally valuable to me. So we are, while these people speak that strange way, the supplications offered by the tongue of his disposition is a strange language. I don't know whether you understand it. I don't. By the tongue of his disposition doesn't make any sense. But existential reality. Yeah, through your existential reality, presenting you. For example, a baby is crying. What is that? Baby is speaking through his or her existential reality. The way she is created speaks out. She cannot but cry. That is automatic. So let's read it in this way. Through the supplications offered by human existential reality, his supplication is answered. Attending the class, learning, you learn it. Acknowledgement is another status. Acknowledgement of the authority of the administration of the universe. Now, let's make it university, college. Let's use it the college. In the human example, college administration. In the existential example, reality of the universe, the creator of the universe, owner of the universe, the one who established the universe and willed to exist, as we are now entertaining our examples. So we have to have an complete radical change in our understanding of the universe. That is why we say the most important shifts in the way that the science, they use it in science. In science, for example, it's classical Newtonian understanding throughout 200 or 300 years, then made a complete change in the direction, and the universe understood, and everything is studied according to new paradigm. New paradigm is relativity. It is also discarded a new paradigm, quantum. So everybody's talking about in every better quantum, according to quantum theory, because it represents the not the reality of the universe, but updated reality of the universe. It will go on. It will go on. So there is no end in learning how the secrets of the universe. Anyways, so this is this example of the lion example as well. Lioness goes and kills the baby of the deer, for example, of a deer, and feeds her baby, how is it called, cub, feeds her baby, but doesn't eat her own baby. Who's arranging it? Hungry? Who's arranging it? Who's stopping it? Serving her the baby cub. Rather than eating, harming, protecting. You cannot get the cub. The baby lion cub. Her mother will kill you. Who's employing it? The weakness of the cub, lion cub. It's beautiful reality, inshallah. Okay, and then the last sentence says, see this strength in weakness and manifestation of divine mercy, which are worthy of notice. Why are we advised here, which are worthy of notice? Why are we advised here to take notice of this reality? The universe is arranged and created in such a way that human beings should take the lesson for themselves. Now, worthy of notice, we have to notice the reality is not as we are told in this civilization. So self-confidence, yeah, between human beings, yeah. But in your reality, not self-confidence, what would you say? Self-weakness, self-impotence. So you will be a lion against somebody who is trying to oppress you, but you will be a lion cub before your creator, the owner. That is how we are arranged. So human dignity is essential, yeah. Human dignity is essential. Dignity before whom? Before what? Yeah, I feel that I am great. Okay, can you get even one egg for your breakfast? You are great, no? You have to humble yourself and get the egg from the hen. So he will give more in the further passages. The author will give us further examples saying that you need a poisonous honeybee to produce honey for you. You cannot produce it. But through the poisonous bee, he prepares, he creates in such a way that these honeybees work for you. Although they are harmful if you want to get it, touch them, but they work for you. They are employed for you because you cannot produce anything. You have to ask only, expect only. Now, we have a few minutes left. I know I spoke today a lot. I'm excited with the presence of my visitors here. So, okay. Shall we read one more? Oh, it is a long way, huh? It's a long paragraph. What shall we do?
I can do it.
Okay. Okay, let's read maybe the
Let's see.
get some piece of the paragraph. Follow.
About at least down to where he will receive a slap.
Like
I
this.
subjugate these with my own strength. Of course, he will receive a slap.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good place to stop,
That's I see here. Yeah,
right?
inshallah. Okay, let's go.
Okay. Just as through crying or asking or looking unhappy, the child subjugates the strong to himself and is so successful in getting what he wants that he could not obtain 1,000th of it with 1,000 times his own strength. That is to say, since weakness and impotence excite compassion and a sense of protection towards him, the child can subjugate heroes to himself with his tiny finger. Now, should such a child with foolish conceit deny the compassion and accuse the protection, saying, I subjugate these with my own strength, of course he will receive a slap.
So he gives an example from the Quran, which is famous, the Qarun example. It is interesting how we should read the Quran. We always say that the Quran should not be read as an historical narration. Now, one of the most essential principle of reading the Quran. I know you study Islamic studies. Are you in the same field? No, no. So we have to be very careful. One of the principles the classical scholars know and mention that, but they don't apply it. They are aware of it by giving it one example of an, they call it particular, juz'i in Arabic. Juz'i, particular example. Quran gives a universal message there. For example, the famous example, Abu Lahab mentioned by name, Zayd mentioned by name. But historical people, by name, who else? Historical people, Zayd and Abu Lahab are the names. And Mecca, and also no one really knows where this Mount Sinai is. But they say here, but I don't believe. No, it's the Mount Sinai. It's a representation of where somebody receives the message. So realizes the Christian terms. Yeah, St. Paul received the light, realized and changed from Judaism into a follower of, there was no Christianity at that time, follower of Jesus. So like this, when you realize the truth, that's your Mount Sinai. Anyways, this Abu Lahab is one event, but it's a universal message. What is the universal message? ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب. His property, his work didn't satisfy anything for him. Was not good for anything for him. It means whoever, not only Abu Lahab, I don't care Abu Lahab, whoever is none of my business. One example, if anyone says, oh, I have this property, I have something, that's enough for me, doesn't get any benefit when you see that everything, when you die, will be left behind. Only the one who is employing them is taking care of you, if you realize. If you don't realize, you trust on your property and die with your trust, and you will see that you are in grave, property is behind, left you. You understand that? So that is Abu Lab. Here, Karun example is taken. We didn't read yet, but we will start right next week from here. Karun also said, in the example of Karun, no one knows who Karun is, by the way. It's symbolic figures. So Karun, I have gained all this, represents the richest man on earth. Karun. So whoever is the richest man thinks that he has some richness in his possession is a small Karun. So if you say that this is my own work, I got it. The verse says, I have been given it on account of the knowledge I have. Yeah. On account of my power, I did. For example, the simple example, a farmer says, I am a good experienced farmer. I am producing the best production here, whatever they are doing. He's not producing anything. He's just presenting his need to the creator of the universe, obeying his rule, his will. So waiting for the result of the creator. We have to understand this delicate point. So then Karun represents this attitude for me that every one of us here may be a small Karun. Small Karun. We have to watch out. And the Quran says, the Quran gives one example, and we should not try to understand who Karun is at all. If you are familiar with the old classicals, pages and pages, story, none of your business. It is a particular example of a universal principle. That is how the Quran should be read. The author of the book that we are reading makes it very clear in his writing, in the way he is presenting here. As we see it now, it's a small example. So he will say Karun, no one will give any historical account of Karun at all. That is symbolic. That's it. Who's Abu Lahab? He was the man who was so happy when Prophet Muhammad's child Abraham died. None of my business. What does this figure represent? Which kind of attitude this figure represents? That is, I see that this paradigm shift in benefiting from the Quran in Nursi's writings. Paradigm shift. Complete change. It is hard to digest because all this classical scholarship is so great, people, in their time. Yeah, Newton was great in his time. We appreciate it. If there was no Newton, there would be no Einstein, if symbolic figures. Yeah, it's obvious, isn't it? So if there were no scholars studied the Quran that deep, there would be no Nursi making this paradigm shift. We have to appreciate it, but at the same time, this appreciation shouldn't stop us to join the paradigm shift. It is very hard, because they are so great people. They devoted their life to Islam for whole life. just to understand one aspect of the miraculous side of the Quranic expressions. One aspect. There are many disciplines in studying the Quran in Islamic history, but it shouldn't prevent us from making and joining this paradigm shift in Nursi's writing. That's why so simple, but so real. Without saying anything. For example, we will read next week, inshallah. The Quran says Qarun, and Nursi even doesn't mention the name Qarun. It directly goes in, that is explaining now, I gained this through my own knowledge and my own power in a way that demonstrates ingratitude and denies his creator's mercy and accuses his wisdom. He will, of course, deserve a punishment, punishing blow. You and me. No one mentions. That is, you notice that. You cannot find this. I couldn't find in none of the sources. I read them. Okay, good. Okay, give me the clue. All right, how can I universalize it? I always read it with this intention. How can I universalize it? And when they start giving historical, skip it. But it's not time now, skip it. They changed. Everything changed now. When it comes to science, scientific studies, we can acknowledge, we can understand, we can appreciate the paradigm shifts. When it comes to religion, our mind gets frozen. I don't know why. Never open to renovations. It means a revolutionary approach to understanding the Quran in the historical line of the Quranic studies by the Muslim scholarship. We start to sometimes force Nursi to speak in the way that the classical scholars spoke. It is too late. Unfortunately, even Muslims cannot do that nowadays. This adapt themselves to this paradigm shift in understanding and benefiting from the Quranic teaching.
I think I come across this idea that since that in this camp of individuals who have an obsession with the classical tradition, the idea that from the time of the Prophet Muhammad to now, we are far from the original. So as we go into the future, we are going further and further away from that which was original, the ideal lifestyle. So the answer is to keep going back to get to the original, and not having any sort of trust that it could be still universal. You could be still in your position and still connect with the reality of that period.
So if an interpretation of a verse is referred to Ibn Abbas, Mujahid,
Earliest.
and then at the earliest, the better, these great people, and especially there's Taberi. So I got a bit irritated by Taberi's narrations. Anyway, refer it, you are a great scholar. If you refer it to the 20th or 21st century scholar, modern, just the reverse, because there is this, this story. And this interpretation is important. The sincerity, the loyalty, the appreciating the value of the revelation is concerned, yes, no one can really be equal to companions' loyalty to the message, companions of the Prophet, loyalty to the message. No one can reach it. I can't. Exactly. If if they see not the imitation. They know that this man is definitely employed by God. I am ready to die for his, whatever he says. And for example, um, uh, it is incredible. It's incredible. While the prophet was, for example, combing his hair, he started from right side. Huh? That's it. No one can change the companion's habit that they start from right side. Loyalty. And understand that the wisdom the prophet lives in his life, that there is a consciousness. So this consciousness is reflected. He is aware of his actions. You cannot do accidentally. You have to be conscious of what you are doing. I am combing my hair. Are you sure? You are combing your hair with the permission of its creator as represented by the life of the prophet. Are you sure? That is the consciousness, awareness of the companions of the prophet. That is really unreachable. But the way the Quran is understood according to the limitations of their time and space cannot be confined to these conditions because God creates everything anew at every time. So we have to update the understanding. Try to be as loyal as they are, but we have to update the understanding of the Quran. That is, that needs to be taken seriously. Oh, well, I see that this very, very sharp, I call it revolution, in understanding the universe, understanding the Quran, understanding the prophetic narrations of the Hadith, that the Nursi does is revolutionary. That's why I call it. We have to accept and adapt ourselves to his method of analyzing the Quran and benefiting from it and updating it to his own life living conditions. But we confuse the loyalty and the living conditions of their time. We should be very careful, especially since you are here, I'm telling you, working there, you have to be very careful about this. If you say that, how can I say something, the great man, I don't know whoever you think that, Sibawayh or Bikai or Zamakhshari, Razi, they're great people, but how can I just take Nursi's simple child's story? And then you fail. You fail. That's interesting. But not every book of his book teaches in this way. This is the first value. Introduction. Just warming up. Just warming up. So inshallah. Oh, and you don't remind me that the time is up.
Okay, I will remind you next time.
Thank you very much. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I'm just stopping it. Any more comment? No, not from here. Anyone from Zoom? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin bi hurmati sirri surati al-Fatiha.